Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and I was going to do a quick video today and just talk about one of the Chilean guava varieties. But to be honest, my plant's so overgrown with other plants that I thought it would be easier if I used my parents' one that I got them 2 or 3 years ago. A little bit easy to film it because it's standing out in a pot on its own by the house. Now this particular variety is the variegated Chilean guava, which is Ugni Molinae, and the variety is Flambeau, and it has these sort of light green and variegated leaves with sort of a pink tinge to them as well, so it's quite a multicoloured plant. Really I consider them more decorative than a useful fruiting plant, but for people that are interested, the fruits are edible, but on this particular variety they tend to be quite small. Now I've got a plain green leaf one at home called Kapow, which is supposed to produce bigger berries on, and I'm hoping to get a few this year for the first year and see what happens. But I thought it'd be a good idea to have a quick look at this particular one. Now this is in quite a suitable position. They do enjoy some sunshine, but they don't need to be in full sun, and they also don't particularly like hot climates, surprisingly enough. They like to be, they're reasonably frost hardy, but they don't do well in very hot climates. So you'll see people in the hotter parts of America and Australia do actually struggle to grow them and keep them alive. Now they start flowering here from, I suppose, about the middle of June. This one's quite early, and the flowers are basically little bells. You can see they start out as these little balls, and gradually they open up into these bells, which you can see have a very pretty colour inside them on this particular variegated one. And as the flowers age, they turn more of a sort of, they turn from a pure white down to a creamy yellow. They seem to have a very high set rate. I would think about 80 to 90% of the flowers seem to set fruit. They do attract the bees, so you'll see in the picture for the thumbnail it's actually got a large, surprisingly for such a small flower, the bumblebees seem to be able to get onto the flower and get inside them to get what they want, but there's quite a lot of hoverflies around this plant as well. Now since it flowers from about the 3rd week of June here right the way through July. The fruits here seem to come, sun's coming out now, amazing. The fruits here seem to come from late, sort of mid to late September through into October. For a small fruit they take quite a long time. Now this particular variety, the fruits aren't red, they're white, almost translucent, with a sort of a tinge of pink to them as they're ripening. Now they are small, they're as small or smaller than a white currant or red currant. The variety Kapow should produce slightly larger fruits, which makes them a bit more practical, so they can be a bit of a pain to pick the fruits, and you have to pick a lot of them to get a worthwhile amount. But when they're ripe you can just pick them and eat them straight off the plant. But it's just a very pretty decorative plant if you want something a bit unusual in your garden that will flower and should have the benefit of producing a few fruits on it which you may or may not enjoy eating. It's been known back to Victorian times, because I've heard it quoted many times that it was Queen Victoria's favourite fruit. Quite how they've produced evidence of that I don't know, it might just be hearsay, but you know, quite a nice plant. And the interesting thing is they're quite precocious. This little one here was propagated a couple of years ago from a broken branch on my parents' one, and I just rooted it in a pot and then moved it to here, and I guess this is probably a couple of years old now, and as you can see it's got a fair number of flowers on it, and it's a tiny little pot that it's in, so it's quite restricted, but it will produce fruits here as well, so they're quite reasonable size. I'd say that my parents' one was probably that size when I bought it about maybe 4 years ago, I would say, and it's now this size, so not a bad size. You can see it sort of weeping down here. Looks quite nice on a pedestal actually. But I thought I'd just do a slightly longer video than I normally do about specific plants, and this one is the variegated Chilean guava. That's Ugni Molinae Flambeau, if you want to Google one and try and find one. They're quite easy to get in this country, in the UK, but I've heard people in Australia and America and other areas say that they really struggle to buy the plants in any variety at all. No doubt if you're in Chile it'd be very easy to find. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, much appreciate it. Please give me a thumbs up. You're welcome to share the video if you think anyone might be interested in this pretty ornamental and practical fruiting shrub. Please subscribe to my channel if I'm doing anything that interests you. It's free, and remember to click on the bell if you'd like updates on when new videos come out. I'll catch up with you all soon. Brett out for now.